case that you guys thought we were done making apple recipes, we're not. Today we are going to be making a super easy apple galette recipe. Not only is this probably the easiest recipe I've ever shared with you guys, it's definitely my favorite out of the apple series, but don't tell the other ones that I said that. This French pastry is composed of sweet and silky pastry cream, a flaky puff pastry, fresh apples, and a peach glaze to make them shine like the top of the Chrysler Building. So if you guys want to learn how to make this super easy afternoon treat, keep watching. We are going to start this recipe off by defrosting a package of store-bought frozen puff pastry dough. If you guys want to make your own puff pastry, I've shared my recipe on my IG highlights, so if you want that, just go over there and take a screenshot. But this is supposed to be a super easy recipe, and if you don't have time, just buy a pack. So we'll set that aside to defrost while we get started on our pastry cream. For our pastry cream, we're going to need 150 grams or 1/2 cup of milk, 100 grams or 1/3 cup of cream, 60 grams or 1/3 cup of sugar, 50 grams or 3 large egg yolks, 20 grams or 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1 vanilla bean. I know that vanilla beans are super expensive and super hard to get, so if you're not able to get any, you can substitute this for 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract or vanilla bean paste. We're going to start by putting our milk and cream in a saucepan and scrape 1 vanilla bean into the mixture, and we're going to gently bring that to a boil. And while our milk is coming to a boil, we're going to take our sugar and cornstarch and whisk that together. This is a little trick I love to do when I'm using cornstarch. Mix it in with a little bit of the sugar. This will help the cornstarch all disperse evenly and avoid any clumping. Then we're going to add our egg yolks and whisk that to combine completely. It should look something like this. Using my peripherals right now, I can see that my milk and cream mixture is starting to steam, so I know it's really close to coming to a boil. You don't want to do this too ahead of time because once you add the sugar and the egg yolks together, the sugar is going to start to heat up and actually cook those egg yolks, and you're going to get little beads of scrambled eggs in your final mixture, and we don't want that. If you have beads in your pastry cream after everything that I've just told you, I'm calling the cops and you're going to go to the state penitentiary. Once your milk begins to boil, you're going to pour half the hot milk into the yolk mixture and whisk that rapidly to slowly begin bringing the temperature of the eggs up. Then we are going to pour that back into the pot and whisk it until it begins to thicken. And once it gets thick, we're going to whisk it for an additional minute. I know it's going to get thick and you're going to think, okay, it's done. Let me take it off of the heat before it starts to burn. But as long as you keep whisking this, it will not burn. And although, yes, our eggs have cooked, we want to really cook out that floury flavor from the cornstarch, and typically that takes 1 minute after boiling. So just keep stirring that for another minute, and then once it's ready, we will set this mixture aside to cool. We don't need it to be super cold, we just need it to be cool enough that we're able to work with it without burning ourselves. So you can just kind of set it aside while we get the other components ready. Now we are going to prepare our apples. Again, I'm using New York State local Braeburn apples. They have a beautiful red and green marbled exterior, but the inside is nice and crunchy and acidic, so it will be the perfect apple for a galette like this. We're going to peel and slice these apples. You can use a mandolin if you have one. It'll give you super consistent slices. If you don't have one, just slice them by hand, but you just want them to be this thin. And our apples are ready to go. Now let's prepare our puff pastry. It should be defrosted by this time. If you guys want to skip this step, you can totally make 1 large galette. It'll just take a little bit longer to bake, but either way, the technique doesn't change. So I'm using a medium-sized ring to punch out individual portions from our puff pastry, and then I'm just going to transfer those onto a lined sheet tray. Then we are going to add our pastry cream. We're going to add a spoonful of the cream onto the center of the puff pastry, and you can just spread this out with the back of the spoon like I am here, or if you're comfortable using a piping bag, you can pipe this onto the puff pastry. Now we are going to place our apples in a circular pattern while overlapping them slightly, and just repeat this process until we've finished all of our puff pastry. But before those go into the oven, we're going to quickly beat 1 egg. Just beat a plain egg, no milk, no cream, no water, anything fancy like that. Just beat the egg, and we are going to brush these over the galettes. The egg wash kind of acts as a protective barrier, keeping everything from moving around in the oven. And it's also going to help us achieve that beautiful golden brown tone. And now these are going to bake at 325 for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so while these are baking, we are going to make a quick peach glaze. You guys already know the drill by now. A 1/4 cup of peach or apricot preserves, 2 tablespoons of water. Heat that up gently just to make the mixture fluid and strain it to get any larger pieces out. And once our gorgeous apple galettes are ready, we are going to brush them with the glaze. And I got the galettes, you get the tea, and I will see you in 5. For today's recipe, if you love desserts with a lot of textural elements, you need this in your life. The puff pastry is so flaky, and that pastry cream keeps the center moist, and the apples make it a health food item, so you really couldn't ask for anything else. This is the perfect afternoon tea dessert to impress all of your guests, and you don't even need to be a pro to make it. And I would usually take a bite here on camera, but my family left absolutely no survivors, so. Don't forget to comment below any other desserts you guys want to see me make, and I will see you next week for a new meal plan. Bye.
Smash the like and subscribe button and comment down below what you want me to do.